setup I've ever seen. Did I just ask that people come around to the side?
Yes.
I'll give you a minute. Otherwise I'm like staring through a cage at you. It's a little bit awkward.
We had 3 readers in the cage last month, so cut that off.
No, I refuse to read in the cage. I'm a free woman. So I won't do that. I'm sorry.
Let the cage move.
Okay, let's figure this out. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. It's really weird to like look through a cage at people. Okay, so the collection of poems that I've been working on for the past 3 or 4 years has been all about my life as a professional circus performer. I've been a professional circus performer since I was about 6 years old. So it's been pretty interesting. So I wrote a whole collection of poems about that. And since I only have 6 minutes, what I'm going to do is read the first poem in the collection and the last poem in the collection. And then you can just kind of guess what's in the middle, or maybe it'll make you want to read the whole thing. I don't know. The first section of the book is sort of all about the culture of the gym and the people who work out in the gym and practice all of their stuff. And then the second section is all about the act of performing. So the first one is called Gym People. Here's the gym. Here are the people in the gym. Here is Scott, of indeterminate age. He looks you in the eye. He asks you about your favorite book. His favorite is Jitterbug perfume. You find it in a thrift store years later and buy it, but never read it. He hangs from the flying trapeze and twists from side to side, saying, "Is this bar out of balance, or am I out of balance?" Here is John, hanging from the catcher's trapeze. You climb to the top of your rope adjacent to the net to gossip with him about pixies and the love lives of clowns. Here is Leslie, whose white face and green sweatpants look the same as when you were 6, who is the only contortionist you can think of over 40 who still trains, whose loyal students followed her when she was banned from the building for bad-mouthing the school. Here is Jennings, climbing down from the board, talking in his 1950s radio announcer voice to Devin about the hypocrisies of the Bible. Here is Devin, hoping to keep 3 Diablos in the air, responding in his scratchy, jaded tone. Here is Lu Yi pulling safety lines for a man 3 times his size. Lu Yi wearing gray leather gloves, one hand pushing the black rope into his hip, the other 2 feet above, ready for the man to be propelled upwards by the teeterboard, tugging on the line, the man's landing shooting Lu Yi up 5 feet in the air, this tiny, invincible 75-year-old man with a handstand better than most 25-year-olds. An old photo of him by the front desk shows him in the air, flying head first towards Teacher Shaw's head, a trick no one in this gym has even attempted. Here is Ember. Ember is the most flexible girl in the world. Her hips seemingly dislocate. You watch her, always out of the corner of your eye. You notice today she looks upset. She is sitting with her back against the wall, holding her wrist and crying, the way you cried when you auditioned for the winter show and they told you you just weren't the right fit. The way you will cry when your wrists start to shoot sparks of pain up through your forearms when you do back handsprings. The way you will cry when you find out what is really wrong with your back. Here is Xiao Hong entering the gym quickly and with intent, the way he enters all rooms, holding up a round red fruit and saying, "I did not know this was a pomegranate." Teaching you how to say, "I am in excruciating pain" in Chinese, but warning you that when pronounced incorrectly, you may accidentally say, "I throw sparrows at you." He remembers when you were 13 and consumed with hormones that manifested in temper tantrums and eye-rolling. He remembers how bad you always were at back tucks and how you used to think John was straight. Here is the gym. Here is the building that you've spent more years coming to than living in any one house. Here are the people that come and go, and the people who never get around to leaving. Here is the gym. And then a whole bunch of stuff happens. And then we get to the last poem, which I have always felt this like sort of weird connection to Michael Jackson because he was this like child performer and so was I. And I found out that when he died, I was a block away from him at his exact time of death. So it was like this really weird thing. So anyway, I wrote a poem about it. The day the king of pop died, I went to class late, having woken up in a frenzy, then stopped by the store on the way back, but there were no television sets inside, so I didn't know why there were large crowds surrounding the hospital and helicopters buzzing overhead. I was preparing for a show, so I was going to stop by my apartment and get my clothes, and then go to the gym. But when I got there, Afton was glued to the television set and told me that he had died at the UCLA Medical Center just a few minutes ago. And I saw his face on the screen with those big sad eyes. I went to the gym anyway, not knowing what to think because of all the pictures of people in Japan making shrines and crying. But when I got there, everyone was talking about the same thing, so I didn't really have a moment alone until later that evening to think about when I was a little girl performing in front of large audiences, and how much you want everything to just stop for a second so you can feed on the applause a little longer, like a lizard with its belly to the sun. Thank you.